Welcome to Trifecta Talks. I couldn't think of other things to do with my hands.
Well, I appreciate the enthusiasm and at least attempting
No
it.
problem. Somebody
Yeah, of
has to
course.
make this show a bit more lively. Welcome back,
Jazz
everybody.
hands.
Jim, you're first again. Welcome to the chat room. How are you doing this fine evening, morning? I'm sure it's evening where you're at. We don't get a lot of people on the other side of the map. If
Be
you know
great
what I
if we
mean.
did.
Be great if
Be
we get
cool
it
if we
with
did.
just saying. Um, if you haven't liked this video yet, like it now because you're gonna really like what we have to talk about today, and that is some of our biggest gripes in gaming. This is I think it's a very unique topic. I came up with this myself, um, and I've got a couple things that I've previously talked about that I'm looking forward to share. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to talking about our normal opening topic because I actually have
Oh,
more than one game to speak on, which is so cool.
finally.
Um I know, trust me. And it only took staying up late with a couple other friends not and like being able to break out of my habit that I've made of playing only one sports game for 16 straight episodes. Because we're on episode 16, right? That's what we're on.
Yes, episode 16.
Yeah,
That's 4 months of doing this.
that isn't that crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. But hey, you know what? We're still having fun, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. Glee.
It never fails to scare me every time.
That scares
'Cause
you?
it's so much louder than our audio, so it's just like and the sound starts before the animation does, like half a second. So it's just like this high pitched like sound effect, and then it's the logo, and I'm like, oh my god! Like I think like every time I think of my headphones just like breaking every time, but I'm like, oh no, it's just the intro.
Jim says he good. I tried to play Aneurysm 4 and got mugged while I was doing laundry in the game. What is this
An-
game? Is this a real game?
Aneurysm 4.
Now I'm gonna look like
Hmm.
stupid if I actually look this up.
I don't care. I'm gonna look it up anyway.
I'm gonna.
Oh
Oh,
no,
it's
this is
it's
a
a real
game.
thing. It's a
It's a real
game.
game. It's got a 9 out of 10 on
Aneurysm
Steam.
4. Wow.
An
We must be missing
immersive
out.
I know. An immersive multiplayer industrial nightmare simulator where you will be forced to work in a dystopian city on the verge of rotting.
So Animal Crossing.
This is the more realistic version of Animal Crossing. Actually, this sounds like the lighthearted version of Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing itself is realistic.
Jim says, yeah, it's like Dark RP from Gmod, and it's weird. It sounds weird, but
Oh,
I'm a
it
little bit
sounds really
intrigued.
weird. Sounds
Um,
crazy.
Switch 2 release? I don't know. Day one launch?
Day one, a console seller.
Before we talk about games we're playing, can we just? I feel like we got to get part of this rumor mill for a second because we're
Mm-hmm.
starting Wednesday, 2 weeks of this console being more shown off, and it's just getting crazy. The patents are coming out. We're seeing a lot more things come about this console. They showed a patent with the DLSS of
Mm-hmm.
NVIDIA's AI DLSS feature, um, which is great. It's gonna really beef up handheld mode, I think, because you're not gonna be stuck at playing whatever 720p 30 frames per second. You'll be able to play 1080p potentially up to beyond 60 frames because that's what the DLS does. I mean, on the computers it boosts up to like 300, but I mean, if the highest we can go to 120 on handheld, I mean, think about all the games that we can play. Which brings me to my next thing, are the rumors that are these games that are coming out like the first year or day one. And some of these include Starfield. They're saying Doom Dark Ages. They're saying Tekken 8. And I think the biggest one, which Brian will say, is COD Warzone and Black Ops 6 potentially coming to Switch too.
It it makes so much sense, but actually hearing it be like not confirmed, but in the rumor mill is
Yeah,
crazy. I never
I
thought
think
I'd see the day.
I think what's going to be crazy is like that game in particular. Like, I mean, it's a big selling point to beat on Switch, but also if that
Mhm.
mouse feature is confirmed, just
Oh
think of like the cool stuff you can do in that game. Like you could play it on PC, obviously, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just there's something to think about with like that mindset. And I was reading comments like, "Oh, well, you could plug in a USB mouse to your Switch," and it's like, yeah, you can do that now, but you can't do that in handhelds. Like the fact
yeah,
that you could just do this in tabletop mode and have pull a Joy-Con off and use a mouse and go at it. I mean,
it's crazy.
that's that's crazy to think, at least
It's
to me.
innovative.
Not that I'm going to be playing it, but
The
I like that
the
we have the option.
exactly the fact that the features there is it makes Nintendo stick out more so than they already have.
Right. So, and I think that's going to, and if that's one of the things they announced as third party, that's going to be definitely the talk for a while. And honestly, I
Hmm.
think it will. I don't know what the servers look like right now on Call of Duty. I don't know if they're losing players, but I feel like I can see a lot of players coming back just for that.
Yeah, I think the servers are doing fine. They kind of died off a bit once like the second season of like the not DLC but of, like the Game Pass whatever came out. But I mean it's Call of Duty. It's got a relatively strong player base
It's
across much every
right.
across every console, PC. So I think it'll do just fine coming out on Switch. I think more people will probably be inclined to play it once it comes out on Switch, just for the fact of like being able to play a console like that or playing a game like that with as much power as you need to play it like on the go is
Yeah.
that's gonna draw people in.
And then the last thing I'll mention is if one of my predictions might be coming true, and I think it was also on Jared's prediction list, and that was um, GameCube NSO being exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. A patent came out recently of a controller, and usually the way these things work is that it's a label patent. So they just kind of show like a square box and then where the patent is going on the box. And people have, thought like, oh, it's in this like very obvious corner. And the only controller that's ever placed a patent like that in a corner is the GameCube controller. So
Oh, okay.
people are really good at sleuthing these out. And I wouldn't put it past me if that's a seller because it would make sense why we haven't gotten these alleged rumors that Wind Waker was coming to Switch
Mm-hmm.
and Twilight Princess was going to come to Switch, and then we're still waiting on. Um, well, I think, or maybe I have to confirm this, but I think Metroid Prime 2 is a GameCube game, but don't quote me on this.
Oh,
But that's
okay.
another game that we didn't get yet, and especially with the new one coming out. Yes, it is. It is a GameCube game, and
Ooh.
maybe 3 is too. I think that might be Wii. I might be stretching it. It was just Wii,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
but it would make sense, why we heard all these rumors and then got nothing out of it. So let's make it happen, Nintendo. Let's get GameCube on Nintendo Switch Online. Get some
Yes,
Double Dash in
please.
there. Luigi's Mansion 3.
That'd be a
Oh,
huge selling point.
it's just huge because if you
Yeah.
had that day one when the console comes out, you're satisfying a market already because you already
Oh
got
yeah.
people that have Switch One games. Now we're expanding the library on online games. Like, I mean, and then there's the, what I said. I said, oh, then Xbox Game Pass is gonna come to Switch, and it's gonna be like a separate Game Pass like they do for PC. Like it's
Yeah.
only games that are compatible with Switch.
Yeah, like just like a Switch Game Pass, which that would be but game changing, I think.
Because they're saying that the Master Chief is coming to Switch.
It's basically confirmed. I mean, everybody's saying it's coming to it.
It's pretty. I that is gonna be again. It's gonna push consoles, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. When the announcement actually happens, it's gonna blow up easily.
Anyways,
in a good
that's
way.
all I have for updates. I had to get those out because I think I'm literally about to take the day off just to watch the announcement go down.
What day is it on again?
April 2nd. It's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would put in for that day off pretty soon then.
It'll be
weeks.
easy. I can't take it off. They'll be like, why are you taking this off? And it's like, I have priorities.
Priorities, exactly.
That don't concern you.
I feel like you've got enough power there now to where you can just be like, I'm taking it off. Watching the Switch showcase.
No, honestly, they'll be like, okay, sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
I'll see you on Thursday.
Bye. Yeah, seriously. No, as long as my hope is that they start pre-orders that day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much, but I just want to make sure
that'd be cool if they did. It would make sense too.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have to stay up all night until Thursday to wait for a dang link. No, they've said that okay, I'm still on this, and I hate to still be on this, but it's an important topic to me, and this is what YouTube wants to hear right now. So, no, because they shipped a bunch of units now. I think somebody mentioned
already.
Yeah, like 400,000 are in the US or North America. Well, I guess like they've been mass producing since September. Like it's there.
Oh, okay. So they're gearing up.
Yeah, no, they're ready. I mean, you got to think think of it this way. The announcement for Switch 1 happened in October, and then the direct happened in January 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The console came out like first week of March.
Yeah.
That's a month. That's like 2 months.
Quick. Yeah.
It came out quick. So I wouldn't put it past me if Nintendo is like, and the rumor is May 15th. Because that's when the new San Francisco Nintendo store opens up.
Oh, okay.
So,
oh my god, that would make too much sense.
Yeah. And a bunch of other things are happening. Like the new Lego set and stuff like that.
Oh.
I'm looking at my stream here and I just always get so fuzzy. I need to get an Ethernet for this laptop. But it's funny, it doesn't happen to you.
Doesn't happen to me at all. I don't know why. Who knows?
Maybe it's my I bet it's my camera.
I don't know why it would be the camera though.
Neither do I, but that's all I can think of. It's a crap camera. We talked about this.
Yeah, what's the brand of the camera again?
Nexigo.
I'll just go for a Logitech.
I know, but this was at the time when we were a startup. We were a startup business, and now we're growing.
We're almost 20 episodes in. I think.
Funny though, I went cheap on the camera, but I went expensive on the mic. I got a Yeti mic, and yet you went expensive on the camera and cheap on the mic.
Yeah, it's crazy how that worked out.
Crazy. Anyways, enough of me talking about garbage to some people because I'm just a Nintendo boy and I just can't get enough of them. Dude, I just can't wait because I think I'm just no, I don't want to boil people. No, because it's true.
No,
this
just
is
go
a
for
conversation. It's just and I think Jared would agree. I think we've had this conversation. This has just been a bad year for PS5 and Xbox. There's no games.
No games. Nothing big. Nothing big coming out. We have to wait for everything.
We have to wait for everything. All these layoffs.
And like now's the time for Nintendo to strike. honestly. Like, there's no
I
better
know.
time. So, this
And that's the
console better
thing.
come out in May, whatever you were saying.
May. It's gonna be May, day one, Mario Kart, whatever the new one's called. That's gonna move units. You want to talk about moving units? That game alone will move units.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
it's so close. It's so close. They've really got it down. Anyways,
They
all
have
right, I'm
to.
done.
They have to.
I'm playing Split Fiction.
Nice. How's that been?
Great. Monty's getting pissed. If she was in the chat, she might be. I don't know. She didn't have band tonight, but
Well, we got 5 people
like she
watching.
loves the
Maybe.
game. She loves the game, but God, she gets so mad. She gets pissed, like because she doesn't play games a lot, so it's just like
Okay.
constant like having to like qualm her. Like it's all right. It's just a game.
It's
It's
just a game. It's just
It's just a
pixels.
game. For her, it's not.
It's life or
It's
death.
just like, but it's just like It Takes Two because oh great, here we go.
Oh boy.
Connor's in the chat. Let me just finish this so we can read Connor's thing.
Okay.
It's fudge it. Let's read it. Biggest gaming gripe is when a friend invites you over to play 2K and said friend puts all the sliders up, including reach and foul, so all of your players foul out
at the first quarter.
This sounds like a story.
This is there's a lot of detail on that, Connor. You got something to talk about?
This is it? Was it Cheggers?
The Checkers.
Did Cheggers hurt you?
What happened with Checkers? Did Checkers hurt you? Did you play 2K with Checkers?
No, it's been a great game. And the story is really cool. I didn't expect them to go like so realistic on it, to say the least.
Oh,
I guess
really?
I guess It Takes Two was kind of, but this one's like hits pretty close to home, especially being on a game that they're conveying the story. It's great stuff. Highly recommend.
I do want to get it. Absolutely. Is it online at all? Is it online?
Can you play online? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. Well, technically, you and I can. Or I don't know if it's crossplay. But what you can do is you can buy one copy, and the other friend downloads some kind of app of sorts, and you can play it with just one game. Yeah.
Oh, didn't It Takes Two have the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh, Split Fiction supports full crossplay between PC and PlayStation and Xbox consoles.
Well, there you go.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a neat thing. Like last time, I remember they did that kind of stuff was on DS when they did DS download play. That was the greatest thing ever.
Oh my god! Only what was it? Only one person needed Mario Kart or something like that. Oh, that's so cool.
They were only for certain games, but like one person. I mean, you only got to play a Shy Guy. The best one was Mario Party DS because that was literally the full game. You just needed the one cartridge.
I don't know if I ever played Mario Party DS.
I love that game. That's my first Mario Party, and maybe it's a little biased, but I don't know. There's something that's so charming about playing Mario Party and in such a crunchy art style. It's a great game.
It seems like it's got a lot of novelty going with it.
If Kenny was in this chat, he'd probably share a few thoughts on it. But it's great. I love that one. Brian, sounds like you had a lot of games over the weekend.
I did. So I haven't touched college football probably in close to a week, I think. It's been a little bit. But
college season's over, Brian. You gotta cut it.
Oh, see, now we're getting into college basketball, so like maybe that'll get me into college football. Now, then we got the NFL draft around the corner. We got all those college players coming in. It's a whole thing. No, so this past Saturday, I was gonna say I helped a friend of ours. I helped Jared move. Um, he's literally a part of the podcast.
Who?
I helped
He
him
he
move,
hasn't been here for 2 weeks.
and now he's just a friend. We don't name drop him anymore. And that's
We're
just the
gonna
falling
call
out.
him Fred. Fred
Fred.
Durst.
It's just one
Oh,
of those days.
wait! Before you say anything, I have to share
Yeah.
a story with you. I forgot to tell you. I
Oh.
was driving home, or I was driving to work, and it's like still waking up, like because it's the morning and I'm going to work.
Yeah.
And like right when I turned to get on the highway, before the light turned, I look in front of me and there's a license plate, and it said Limp Bizkit on
Oh my god.
and it was like not like LI, it was like L1MPBI, like one.
Oh,
It
that's
was like
sick. What are the
couldn't-
odds?
I wish I took a picture, but I couldn't pull my phone out in time. It was just like, how
I
is
just
this
imagine-
man's like he's been in my life since he's been wearing that dang hat. Like I keep hearing about Fred Durst everywhere I go. It was first that, and then I found out the rumor is Limp Bizkit's doing the Shrek 5 soundtrack,
Yup.
and now this license
Oh,
plate.
it's
It's just like
everywhere
where
now. It's
he's
everywhere
coming
now.
back.
I can only imagine you like seeing the license plate and then just like fumbling for your phone real quick, and then like but the car takes off and you just don't have the time.
Ah, dude, he sped. I think it might have been Fred
Oh,
Durst.
he maybe he knew you were trying to take a picture of his license plate, and he's like, no, I can't have this. It's got to take off.
I had to get that out there. Oh my god, it's so funny. It was
That
just
is so funny.
I could have out of all the license plates that are out there in the world, you see one that's a Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. I saw one today. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. It said Uncle Eric or something like that. And I'm like, cool. All right.
We laugh at it, but it's probably like his like dead uncle or something.
Probably just like a car he inherited from his uncle or whatever.
Right.
Oh my
He
god.
paid like for his whole college.
Yeah.
Gerard said rip DS download play.
For
Amen,
real.
brother.
What did Connor say? Certain Trifecta gang member made Danny Granger foul out after 2 minutes, not naming names, but his name rhymes with A-Rod.
I had a feeling it was somebody in here.
I had, yeah, I was imagining that's who it was.
Sorry,
Oh,
I hate to keep cutting you off.
No, you're okay. So after helping Jared move, me, him, and somebody else who has appeared in our chat numerous times, Justice, we're playing. God, what did we play? We played NFL Street. We all on P. Oh, this is PS2, by the way. So we hooked up the PS2, and we played NFL Street, ESPN NFL 2K5, Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart, Micro Machines V4, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, Godzilla Unleashed. Oh, I'm missing one. I think shoot. Am I missing one? Was that it? That might have been it.
Did you say WWE?
Yeah. SmackDown versus
No.
WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007. I feel like I'm missing one. If it pops up,
I mean, even with all those, it feels like you guys must have blazed through games, like just
oh yeah.
3 minutes
So,
of
like,
one game and just ripped out the disc and put it in another one.
So we went like, God, what did we played? I mean, we played for a decent amount of time. We played for at least like.
Connor says, talk about how NFL Street has steroid use.
Dude, the guys in those games are huge. They're huge. Like, I'm talking like if you see a picture of Ricky Williams on the cover, he's like ginormous. They're the Hulk. Each player looks like the Hulk in that game. So this was EA's like alternative to Madden, because Madden was or is like a simulation franchise. It's meant to be more realistic. NFL Street, one of the few like franchises that they did, or like NFL Street, there's Blitz, stuff like that, where it's these guys are the size of the Hulk. Yes, that's it right there. They're huge in that game. And Like, click on that one screenshot that says Game Breaker over on the left there.
Game Breaker.
Yeah,
Wait,
that one.
where am I?
Yeah.
This one?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So I don't know if you can tell, but they're ginormous in that game. Like, a lot of them are.
I don't even know what's going on in that image right there.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, they're like each one is the size of the Hulk. Connor says live action NFL Street movie where Brian bulldozes Jared at left tackle. That would win an Academy Award. That would win me an Academy Award for Best Actor, and that would win Jared Best Academy Award.
That's when they start doing Best Stuntman.
Yes, so we both win for Best Stuntman. I win Best Leading Actor, and then Jared wins for Best Original Song after he busts out some Bob Dylan song after getting laid out. But yeah, NFL Street was like, it's so fast paced, and I have never played it before until then, which is surprising. But I didn't get into football until late. So like my first football game was probably Madden 09. It was either Madden 09 or Madden 12. It was the first one that got me into the franchise. So NFL Street came out like early 2000s. So I wasn't into football then. I was just playing my licensed games, all my, let's see, like for example, my Attack of the Toy Bots. That's what we were playing. And like Star Wars and all that stuff. Was not into sports, or at least into football, that like I am now. Connor says, just replace Tom Cruise with Jared. Want to see this man solo Halo jump with Henry Cavill? Sure. Sure. Yeah, we played a lot. We played a lot of PS2 games.
You played a lot.
Yeah, we played for about, had to be at least 2.5, 3 hours of games, I think.
Wow.
We played for a while.
That's crazy. That's not even a while though, with all the games you played. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Oh, so we only played 3 games of NFL Street. No. I think it was only 2. We played 2 games of NFL Street. We played 1 game of ESPN 2K5. And we did 2 battles of Nitro Kart, because I was the only one that let people lets you do 2 or more players. Godzilla Unleashed, we played maybe 2 or 3 rounds. WWE, we played 2 matches. Micro Machines was the last thing we played. We probably, I don't think we played the longest, but we definitely played a bunch of rounds of that, and those are pretty quick. Oh, I'm leaving out one game. Oh shoot, what's it called? Hot Shots Golf 3. That's Hot Shots Golf 3. We played that as well. I almost forgot about that. We played 1 game of that. We played 1 game, 9 holes, I think, on smaller courses. That was fun. But I think that's it. I think that's the extent of what we played.
I'm gonna do something risky, okay?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna unplug my webcam and plug it back in.
Oh god. Yeah, because it's blurry.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Okay.
Can you hear me still?
I can still hear. Yeah. You just your image is just frozen temporarily.
Nice. That's cool.
So you're still there.
That's pretty neat.
That's pretty neato.
It's a neat trick.
But yeah, while you're doing that, that really playing those PS2 games really made me want to get back into it. And I've talked about wanting to actually get back into it, but on Sunday, I think it was. Oh, he's back.
Hi.
Hello.
It's going to look so bad. I didn't do this before. I swear. If you look at past live stream,
Is it just a connection thing?
Hold on, before you say anything, we got a new subscriber. It changed on my end. We have 27 subscribers now. Thank you to whoever who's subscribed. You're a blessing in disguise.
Seriously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're getting so close to 30.
Getting so close to 30.
My nose is running.
Ew.
Dude, listen. Okay, so 2 weeks ago when I was sick,
He said, "Listen up, pal."
No, hold on, because this is annoying. Because I was sick like 2 weeks ago for 3 days, 4 days, like sick as a dog. And since then I've been fine, except for this friggin' runny nose that will not go away. It doesn't matter how many times I blow my nose. Dude, it's ridiculous. Hold on. I have to.
Is it stuffy?
Kinda.
Get you know, that shit they stick up their nose and they breathe.
Like Nasonex?
Yeah.
There's like that. Well, I think Nasonex is I used to have that, but I think that's prescribed. But there's some that you can get where it does clear.
No, there's something. There's something on the shelf. I got it before.
Is it starts with an A? Is that it?
I can't think of it. But it's like it's got like a little ball of sorts of whatever. I don't know what it is, but you just suck it up and.
One thing that I took that seemed to help that I haven't taken since then, which I probably should take again, was I took Sudafed, and it just I took that before going out on I think was that Saturday when I was starting to feel better, and that that helped dry me up a bit. So I think I'll probably have to take that again because that helps with like congestion and stuff like that. But I hate taking pills though. If I don't have to, I won't.
Wait, but what do you mean you don't like taking pills? Like you don't like taking medicine, or you don't like taking?
I just don't like constantly having to take medicine. Like I'm much more like, and it's not like I'm not like against it or anything. Like you do you. Like I was taking ibuprofen like it was nobody's business when I was sick. But I just much prefer like just being able to get rid of it like naturally. Like I don't want to have to take a pill and then just wait. You know, I hate that. So I'd rather just like try and do it naturally and try and get rid of it quicker. But if I have to take a pill, I have to take a pill.
I will drink. One time I was really sick. I think I almost went through a whole bottle of NyQuil.
I think you recommended to me when I got COVID to take Dayquil and NyQuil, and that did help.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was Dayquil, NyQuil, and one other. It was like a pill. It was like some over the counter, whatever.
Yeah, but NyQuil saved my butt. Like, because that's the thing. I think I just like NyQuil because like it helps you sleep like nothing's wrong with you. Like you just zoink out. And some people say they get side effects, but I never get them. I never feel.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I wake up and I take my Dayquil or take a shower and I'm all set.
Almost, yeah. One thing I like about NyQuil is that it helps like briefly since it's like made with what's it Vicks, right? It opens you up briefly, which is really nice.
I do the what's this podcast?
I don't know. We are now we've now delved into this is the medical side of it, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say they have a new one with like honey mixed in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's good for like sore throats, and it tastes better, obviously.
Oh yeah, just straight.
That's like the worst part.
Like,
it's funny how like you like. I don't know how to say this without it's stupid, but with NyQuil, it's like you gotta like chase it with something after. It's just funny to like say that you're drinking alcohol,
like taking it's like you're taking a shot of something.
Yeah, I guess.
I typically don't though. Like I like how just immediately like cool it is and how it opens you up quick. Like I feel like I just do that, and then like I like the little like just letting it kind of not sit, but just like not not drinking something immediately after. I like that.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyways,
did you want to? Anyways,
this
hot shots, right?
concluding the medical side of Trifecta. um, I no, playing those PS2 games really makes me want to like. Like I said, I've mentioned it for a couple weeks now, probably that I want to get back into PS2, but actually sitting down and playing PS2, I think helps kind of break my habit of constantly just playing college football or whatever. I feel like that'll not only help me get into PS2 games, but just play other stuff now. Like now that I've actually played like what was it, like 6 games in like 2-3 hours, like that's definitely gonna help me out a bit. And like I said, we got the licensed games, so we'll probably play this a little bit. I found memories of that growing up, and I started playing this like a year ago, and never went back. But Black on PS2, I bought that from a retro game store. I just saw something cool today added on the Game Pass. That's like it's a shooter, but it's designed to look like an anime. I don't really know the
Oh.
extent of it after that, but the art style is really cool. It was called Mullet Mad Jack is what it's called. I don't know if there's a story to it. I don't know if it's just like a round based thing. I have no idea. I don't watch anime much, but I've always liked just the art styles to them, so I might be able to get into something like this. And it's newer. It's newer. It's very small. It's only like I don't even think it was a gigabyte when I downloaded it. So definitely gonna get into that, or at least try. And then
Jim says gaming grapes.
delicious.
Delicious.
I am good friends with Jim here, and I spilled the beans to him on what the episode was gonna be today. And
what?
I know. And then I told him we're gonna it's gonna be about gaming grapes, and then you and I are just gonna eat grapes until one of us gets sick.
You get sick from grapes?
Yeah, you can get sick from grapes.
I look like a PS1 graphic. Remember, we got 1 subscriber. Keep it up. I am imagining the day Jared comes back into this podcast, and we're going to be on 2 different planes of existence.
Oh, 100%. He's going to be locked in for, like, serious conversation, and we're just going to be talking about, like, eating grapes, throwing up, hyperventilating. Cheggers. Oh, we've got a whole Cheggers arc going.
Well, I think he was here for... He missed
for the start of it.
Cheggers arc.
Yeah. He was here for when
he sold them at... I think the last time was at the TGI Fridays.
Yes, behind the... I don't know. I think... No,
he was there
for
that. No, he really?
I don't think so. I think that was the first one he wasn't here for. Connor, can you confirm, did you sell Cheggers behind a TGI Fridays, and was Jared here for that?
And while we wait for that...
Yeah. While we wait for that. While we wait for an answer.
Let's get into our gaming gripes, or as Jim calls them, gaming grapes.
Gaming grapes.
Cheggers updates coming soon.
Oh, God. We're always ready for
so let's talk about that with updates. Speaking of, that'll be my first gaming gripe, and that is, and this happened with what's the game? Split Fiction that I'm currently playing, and a lot of games still do it. Oh yeah, it's such a problem these days. Not saying the game's bad. It's just a gripe that I have with certain games that do this, and that is when you buy the game, you bring it home, and you gotta download it. I get it, and it downloads, and then you click on it, and it's like you have to download this update, and then it's more time for the game to
Ah,
update. And they're big. Sometimes they're massive. If they were like
sometimes they're almost
small
as big
little
as the actual
patches,
game themselves.
yes, they're like
Yeah.
double the size. And that's my gripe. My biggest gripe is that I can understand small patches, but when your patches become twice the game size or whatever, um, that's an issue. Like
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
gives me the feeling that not everything was put on the disc.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that had to be that you would get in the full download basically. Like it's like you do realize, well, so at least for like PS5, they're 4K disc. You can hold a good amount on that disc. So I don't understand, and I get it. Like, well, I don't get it because when games go gold, they go gold. So
Mm-hmm.
what's
Yeah.
going on? um,
Who? I have no
and I
idea.
don't know. I have no idea, but that's a gripe of mine because it's annoying that I don't know, like, and like it's like they want people to go full on digital because if you go
I
digital and
know.
like you purchase or pre-ordered it, it'll download everything in one go and you're set to go. But if you're a physical collector, you have no, like say like in a weird scenario that like you are a late night worker and you just get home from work, your 12 a.m. shift, whatever it is, and you're gonna go play your new game that you just picked up and you have to wait. It's like, I don't know. Something about that's bogus. You didn't have to do that before.
Yeah,
Games were
didn't have to do
perfect
that
back
before.
then.
I know. Like, we're talking about PS2. The game you get is the game you get. No updates, nothing. Whatever you bought is what you get. There's no additional things that the company wants to throw in last second. There's no patches, whatever you got. That's one thing I miss about the early days of, not early days, but like growing up playing games. Like until like connecting to internet was like a necessity for games, which that the fact that that's even a necessity now for over like half the games that are released now is crazy. But
Yeah.
now that pretty much every game is consistently needs updates, and for somebody who doesn't have automatic updates turned on, like I don't have it turned on my Xbox, so like I'll go over to updates every now and then just to see what like because if I click on something, it's gonna automatically make you update it. Like there's no way to bypass it. Um, I'll have like 23 updates queued up. I'm like, why are all
Hmm.
these games needing all this work? I downloaded Marvel Rivals the other day, and
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
a free game. You're not paying for it, right? But
Yep.
I just downloaded it. I'm talking like just downloaded it. And it's a 56 gig game already. And you're
Yep.
telling me like 3 days after I download it, I go to play it and there's already a 30 gigabyte update. Like, why? It's the same thing with Sea of Thieves. I went to go play that a couple weeks ago. That game's like 80 gigs. It's pretty big already. I go to play it with a couple other friends. It's like it needs like a 50 gig update. For what? I know I hadn't played it in a little bit, but you're telling me you need to download over half the game just to play it again? Like, what are you adding? It it's frustrating. Call of Duty is the worst. Call of Duty is the absolute worst when it comes to um updates. I feel like every time I don't even have the game downloaded anymore, but I feel like every time I went to go boot it up and needed something, like it was like it ranged like anywhere from like a small patch to just like what are we looking at here? Wait, off topic, but look into Day of the Dolphin 1973 tagline. Unwittingly, he trained a dolphin to kill the president of the United States. That is.
It's a
Can
lot
we
to
get a
take
game
in.
of that? Yeah, can we get a game of that? Can we get somebody to remake that? Get
That's
get.
I'm pretty sure they already made it. It's called Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, I think what we should do, we should make it again, right? And then we should get
Okay,
Luca
again.
Guadagnino on the phone, and then have him have him make it, and then have him put Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross soundtrack blaring over it, and then throw Zendaya in there.
You got to film.
We got a film. He ain't gonna finish. He ain't gonna finish Sergeant Rock. That's gonna get canceled.
um.
um, um,
So
oh,
yeah, it's just
updates are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
With games.
It is ridiculous. So that's my first gripe I'll mention, or grape as Jim would say.
Shall I name one, or do you want to continue your list?
No, yeah, we'll bounce it back and forth.
Okie dokie. So I'll start with, it's on the same topic esque with
Mm-hmm.
all these games needing online features, right? This has been a
Yeah.
problem since multiplayer games have been introduced, mostly shooters, mainly shooters. Bad spawn locations are like, how is this still? It's still an issue. COD is the worst with it, but I don't
Yeah.
know if it's I don't know if the right term is the algorithm of it, but determining spawn locations. How are we still spawning into enemy territory? How? We've been
Really?
making these games still. We've been making these games for 20 years. And it's the game can't recognize when the spawns flip fully. So it hits a point where you'll still be spawning with 4 people next to you. And they're the spawns get all mixed up when the objectives are all still the same. I don't know how. Nuketown, I think, is probably the worst when it comes to this. The amount of times that when I was playing Black Ops 6, this has been an issue for me. I've been consistently playing Call of Duties probably since Black Ops 2, right? So since 2012. So for 13 years, you're telling me you can't fix this? This is the one thing. I say one thing, but
It's funny.
it's
You say, I just like how you because and I know they're two different games, but I play Splatoon as my first person shooter.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. It's a fun game. But anyways, their spawn is always you spawn in. So you have 2 options. You can spawn back to your home base, which is protected by an invisible wall in case there are people on your side. They don't automatically splat you every time you come back. Or you can choose to spawn near a player.
See, now, you know what game does that? And it works? Is Battlefield.
Yeah.
Battlefield's been doing that for years. And it works. It's probably the best form of respawn because
Do you think they just don't do it because there's no perfect way of explaining why you can do that? Call of Duty's too realistic to do something like that.
I don't think. I don't. So I can't speak for Splatoon because I've never played it. In terms of map size, I think it works with Battlefield because the maps are massive, so you can spread out where you spawn, and something different is always happening. Whereas with COD, the maps are never really that big, and now if anything, they're getting smaller. So, I think for game modes like that, where the spawn is just randomized, they can't really work that. They can't necessarily work around but just keep the spawns the same. Don't just spawn they should have 3 spawns on both sides, right? 3 3 for each, 3 for both teams on their respective sides of the map. Not oh, we're gonna have these 3, but then at this point we're gonna switch them, but all the objectives are gonna stay the same, and then they're just gonna get mixed up. I can't stand spawning into like I said, Nuketown's the worst. You spawn into one of the backyards, and there's 4 or 5 guys already there.
For the littlest time
switch
I
in
played
time.
3, for the littlest time I played 3, I remember that happening.
It's so bad. It doesn't make any sense how it's still a problem. But like I said, but it's a gripe. It's probably one I think of the most when it comes to multiplayer games because it doesn't like they'll never fix it. I'm just convinced they'll never fix it ever. The only ones that seem to make it work, like Splatoon makes it work, Battlefield makes it work. I've never had an issue with it with Battlefield. You can also see like where like when you're going to spawn in, it also makes it so you can't spawn in when there's enemies near a certain objective you're trying to like spawn in on. So if you're trying to spawn in on a player and they're in the middle of like an intense firefight, you can't spawn on them. It literally tells you there's like enemy fighters near there or whatever. So you have to either spawn at your own spawn, another one that's completely empty, or a vehicle. And it works. I've had no complaints about Battlefield spawning. But Call of Duties and like Halo's a little bit have always just been not like the only time it's not a problem is within the first like 30 seconds of a match when you all spawn at the same spot. The whole team spawns at the same spot on opposite sides. That's it. After that, it's a mess. But yeah, my first one is
crazy.
bad spawn location.
That's a good one though.
It's they're like I said, I don't think they're ever gonna fix it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, after what, 10 plus games?
Yeah, no, it's like it's gonna continue, and like with them making the games every year, I feel like that's like the least of their concerns. I feel like they just focus on everything that's on like the basic like surface level, and then that's really it. It's the same. It's gonna be the same game for a while.
Is that a gripe?
What, Call of Duty being the same? I have something that
Well,
falls.
no, just like games that release yearly and little updates are added, like Madden 25, 26, and okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a jab at WWE when we get to it. Is it?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready for mine?
I am.
Excessive backtracking.
Explain.
Just games that like there's backtracking in some games that are fair, but then there's some games that I just remember that are like crazy when it comes to like you have to backtrack and like collect a certain amount of items to progress farther.
Okay.
Yeah, like man, I'm thinking like kid games because those were the worst because it was just to fill time forever. Especially on handheld games. We talked about this kind of already. So like the Lego handheld games do this crazily stupid because you beat the game, but it's like 20% of the game is only complete for you to 100%. So now you have to backtrack and sometimes go a third round of backtracking because you don't have certain characters to do certain things.
Yeah.
So like that's excessive. And I think it's like when I say excessive, I see it as a way to like make up an excuse to prolong the game, like to make it go for a longer amount of time, even though it really doesn't need it. Another game that's done with it, and this is a game I've never beat because it has excessive backtracking. And again, I was a dumb kid. I wasn't good at video games as much as I am now. But the SpongeBob SquarePants movie had really excessive backtracking, if you don't remember it. It was because it wasn't like a game like Battle for Bikini Bottom or Mario 64 where it was all open sandbox style. These were like straight up levels, and it was level 1, level 2, level 3. But if you got to like level 5, they'd say, okay, you need this many. I don't know what the collectible was. I think it was still spatulas at the time, but maybe it wasn't. But you had to get a certain amount of items. And like you go back to backtrack, and it's not like it's hidden in the world in the level. It's like you've got to do this time trial. And then you have to do the time trial again, but in less time. And then do it again, but in lesser time. And it's like you were doing the same course, just different times. It's just ridiculous. Or like going through rings. It's like that kind of stuff. It's like stuff that adds more fluff to the game to make it longer, which is just ridiculous. It doesn't happen as often as it does now, but there are some games out there I think add just ridiculous amount of fluff to make it longer, and it's just
those licensed kid games always had like the bad habit of doing that. And I even remember I'm thinking about
Always.
like, yeah, I'm thinking about like the Attack of the Toy Bots one that I still have fond memories of.
Yes.
But it's the same thing in that you have to go back to
It's
get
it-
stuff
it's
to
worse, and
progress.
it's worse on those handheld ones because the ones that are all the side scroller type ones, you
Hmm.
you don't remember what the maps look like, so you don't know
Yeah.
exactly where you're going to look for certain items. Like I can't like name them all, but there's just some that are really like
No, there's a
irritating.
lot. Yeah. I feel like a lot of like some Nintendo games I feel like did that too. Like at
Some
least like some,
Nintendo games.
yeah. And it's which is
I don't think
unfortunate.
they don't do it as often, I think, as they used to. Like I think
No.
Breath of the Wild has like it's a big world, so it comes with it the
Hmm.
backtracking. But when they do the backtracking, it's like side quest. There's some games that do backtracking and for the story alone, and it's sometimes a bit overwhelming to say the least.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take, but I think there's some games that just do it a little too much just to put in a good runtime.
No, they do. Absolutely. And going into my next gripe, it actually it's very similar to
Yeah.
the one you just said. And that's short stories in games with huge maps. I feel,
Yes.
yeah, because your
I
main
was
story,
that's
yeah,
my next one. I
yeah,
had that. I had overwhelming overworld.
yeah, like you have this huge map. I feel like that feels overstuffed with side stuff
Yeah.
when you could be using the main story as your like use the main story to go all over. Don't use your
Hmm.
side stuff to be like, all right, now go to this area. Oh, then now you're gonna unlock this. But then like if you literally just do the main stuff, you only play it like a couple hours now. I feel like some
And
game like some of the
you know
AAA titles aren't that bad with it, but
the only games that are allowed to do that are MMORPGs.
yeah.
If you're
Oh yeah,
not an
100%.
MMORPG, do not do that to your game.
Don't
Do
do
not.
that. I know.
Don't do it.
The only games like newer ones that I can think of that don't do that are probably like probably Red Dead 2. I think Red Dead
Yes.
2 has a very expansive story, like its main story, and then like it doesn't
Yeah. Well,
nearly rely on the side
I'd
stuff as
argue
much as
that's all Rockstar games. They do a really good job at
they do.
balancing the world. Like 5 is like great at it. I mean, there's so much
Mm,
to do. And I
so
think it's just
much to
because it's
do.
open sandbox. It's sort of it kind of lends itself, especially nowadays when
Hmm.
you have achievements with games. You know,
Yeah.
you can go forever
Oh
and
yeah.
ever. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a game that would like fit that criteria.
Um,
Yeah, I can't think
I
of one
feel
off the
like,
top of my head.
but they're out there. They're
Yeah.
100% out there. Um, I don't know. Oh,
Overwhelming.
um, saying this is open world is a little bit of a stretch, but the new Lego Star Wars game,
Oh,
it's not necessarily open world, but it's more open world than all the other ones we got. Like
yeah.
Clone
That one.
Wars
That
is
one.
kind of sorta, but they shortened everything, like in terms of main story, so they
Yeah.
could cram everything into one. But it all like you felt
But
it.
there's a but to that because I
Why?
think it's
Why?
such a great Lego game. It's such a great Lego game.
It's good. It's
I
good.
we
I
got
don't
to
think
do a
it's my
ranking of
favorite.
Lego games.
Yeah, you
Really?
you you know, it's not my favorite, but I do like it. You know what game I think does a better job at making an open world and making the main story feel long enough is Lego Marvel
Yeah.
Superheroes.
Yes. The 2.
Oh, see, I mean, I haven't played much of two, so I can't speak on two. But one, I still feel like did a really good job Like being able to
Two's
walk freely on the helicarrier and then just fly all the way down to the city with no loading screen. Really cool.
Yeah, two's the same way, except it's a Kang storyline. So
Okay.
he creates, I forgot what exactly the name of the city's called, but he like pulls in different like timelines and universes into one big city. So like for 1 minute you're in New York City present, then the next you're in medieval 1800s, and then like but it's all in one
Okay.
area, no load
Yeah,
times. So you're just
that's
swinging
cool.
from universe to universe in one single area or map. So I
Okay.
think two is great. But I'm saying for this is a different conversation. We'll talk Lego games next time, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say so. Best mechanics is Skywalker. I think. Like I
Hmm.
don't know, like the over the shoulder stuff is like crazy that they did that. The
It's
details
very good. Yeah.
is really good. I mean, I haven't played Horizon, and that actually looks like a real Lego game, but it's not a traditional Lego game, so I don't
Yeah.
count it. But the best Lego game I think is The Incredibles. I don't know. There's something
Oh, I
crazy
still have to
awesome
play
about that
that.
game. It's great. I wish they'd go back and do more Disney Lego stuff because there were so many great Easter eggs. They had the whole open world thing. Like there was the main game where it was the story, and you progress through both one and two,
Mm.
and then after you beat the game, you would explore Metropolis. But there was another story in that in the open world part.
Oh, okay.
Like Syndrome comes back and he's gonna bring his revenge. It was cool. It
That's
was like an
cool.
Incredibles 1.5. It was awesome. Anyways,
Anyways,
anyways. Uh, so yeah, overwhelming overworlds.
yes, 100%.
I think
Um,
like here's well, I think maybe we were a little different on this one because I was just thinking more like games that take it to like another level when it comes to overwhelming overworlds, like, and maybe it's because I haven't played them, but it gives me, I don't want to say anxiety, but like when I see games like Witcher 3, like that game just doesn't like appeal to me just solely based on the open world concept. It just looks like it's a lot to get into.
mhm.
And I tried it and I'm just like, this is just, and maybe it's better on PC. It's just that kind of game where it feels better to play on PC. It's all those games. It goes with, you know, that one, Elden Ring. It's very overwhelming. It's a big map. They're
Yeah.
huge,
Oh, they're
and
huge.
there's a
Yeah.
lot to
Every
do.
time.
And that's not to default it as a bad game. I know they're great games. I just
Yeah.
personally, for me, if I'm not like, you know, like I think Zelda's not as grandiose as like other games, but the way they did it with Breath of the Wild is that you start on this small plateau to do your trainings and whatnot, and then you go, and then they let you free off the plateau to
Yeah.
get you ready for everything else. I don't know if other games do it like that, but I feel like take notes because I feel like I need that little bit of guidance before I start exploring the main land because
Very much so.
I just don't. It's a lot to grasp, and like this is another gripe I'll throw in there. Games that have really, really, and I play games that are like this, like Kingdom Hearts for one, but I've
Mhm.
invested my time, but I can't invest any more time in other games. But that's just having really heavy lore in games. I
Yeah. No, I get it. And
just
I a game I'll add into this real quick, and it's a game I've made it clear I can't get into. And I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. I mean, it's considered one of the greatest RPGs ever. I
yeah.
can't get into Skyrim. I can't.
I tried it. I
I
tried it.
tried to. I've tried on numerous occasions, and I feel like I don't even know if it's the lore, but I find getting thrown into the world like that, like the first part is cool. The dragon attacks, you make your character the
Yes,
dragon attacks, whatever. That's all really
that's as
cool.
far as I got.
It's like that being the intro is great. Everything else after that, I feel like is A slog, I just can't. I can't get into it. I feel like you're all of a sudden thrown into this massive open world where you have to already be into it to like it.
Yeah.
It's not new. Like, it's if you're trying to get into fantasy, I feel like Skyrim is not new user friendly. You have to already be like head and shoulders deep into it already.
And
To,
I'm worried like a lot of games are getting into that realm of
they are.
like there is there's no fresh well, okay, let me not say that because it's not really true, but I feel like a lot of it is because you have games well for Kingdom Hearts, I guess, for example, it's like the game took forever to come out. And yes, they
Yeah.
did re-release them on PlayStation, but with Kingdom Hearts, it had spin-offs, and people were like, "Oh, spin-offs. Who cares?" And then 3 comes, and they're like, "What the fuck's going on?" Because all this stuff that's coming together is also stuff that's from the spin-offs. So you put yourself in a pickle here where you're releasing games that had prior stories, like The Witcher, where
Hmm.
you can't really play the first. You can only play the first one on PC. I'm pretty sure.
I think
I
so.
think. Or I think you can also play on Xbox exclusively. But there's some games out there that are just lost in time, and if you don't progress through the story enough, you don't know the lore.
Oh,
Or there's just games that
100%.
have pre-established lore, like I think, well, there's a lot of games that are like this because there's like Lord of the Rings, where they kind of just make games
Yeah.
sometimes, and it's just like established that like, oh, this is Middle Earth and it's the time of war, and that's all the context they give you, and it's like, and for
It's
some
all
people,
like,
it's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that makes sense. I know that time, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
What's going on?
What's going?
I I find I try and get into books a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
books do the same thing. There was this really cool sounding sci-fi book called A Mountain in the Sea that won all these awards, and the cover it had a great cover art. I read the back, seemed interesting enough. I read the first page, and I'm like, okay, I think I can get into this. Now I have a tough time getting into books in general, so trying to get into something fiction brand new like that was going to be tough. But I feel like it was right
Mhm.
up my alley because I love sci-fi stuff like that, and this was like dystopian, so I love like Blade Runner and whatnot. And right out of the gate, after the first page, it starts throwing this like new terminology at you, as if you
Yeah.
already know what it is, and it's not a sequel, and it's trying to like explain this world as if you've already been there. And
Yep.
games, like you were saying, games do the same thing, and it's like, how am I supposed to get into it if you're and I don't want to be spoon fed information, and I'm not saying that.
No,
Um
it's worse when you're like me and I, where we have a tough time finishing games. And then we go back to the game that we're trying to finish and we're like, what is
what is
where did I leave off? I
yeah,
don't know what's going on anymore. And then you like feel compelled to like, do I just start over now?
yeah. Oh,
Cuz
I've done
that's
yeah.
so for me, that's been Hogwarts Legacy. And not like it's a
Mm.
terminology thing, but I've restarted it twice now. And I haven't gotten back to it yet because it's a
Yeah.
game that like promotes you to play it every day and to remember where you left off and to keep leveling up and to go to classes. Like it's a simulator in the end almost.
Yeah. I feel like something like that where it's already set in a pre-established universe. I feel like you kind of already have to be a diehard like Harry Potter fan to be like to get into that right out of the gate and stay interested. Everybody that I've heard that likes it and has played it all the way through are diehard Harry Potter fans. I don't think
Yeah.
somebody like me who has never seen any of the movies would probably like it. And
Yeah.
I'm not knocking the game and I'm not knocking its setting and stuff like that. I think what it did for licensed games is really cool. Um, but for somebody who hasn't seen them, you're not doing me any favors. It's for the fans, and I get that. But if you want to introduce this to new people, you got to make it a little more new user friendly. I don't know which way you would go about doing that. So I guess I
Yeah.
shouldn't complain that much, but it's for the fans, and that's what seems like it's really it. And there's a lot of games like that. But you look at games like something like, for example, we'll say like Star Wars Battlefront 2, right? Star Wars lore is pretty easy to understand for the most part until you really start digging into like Old
Clone Wars.
Republic, whatever, right? But all the surface level stuff, the stuff you see in the movies, like you don't have to read the
Yeah.
books, you don't have to play any of the other like expanded universe games, whatever. It's like all the stuff that's in the movies is in these Battlefront games. Battlefront 2, I'll say specifically, like, and I'm talking the OG one. I'm not talking this new, like the newer one.
Yeah.
It immediately establishes who are your heroes, who are your villains, and playing the exhibition games and then getting into the story is very helpful, I think,
Hmm.
because you now it's showing you, all right, this is like these are your sides, and then you get into the Galactic Conquest stuff, and now it's like now you're ready to kind of delve a little deeper, whereas something like Hogwarts Legacy, I feel like just throws you right in and doesn't hold your hand, and it's like this is our world, this is what it is, like you either know what it is or you don't, and we're not going to hold your hand, unfortunately. But it can be a lot sometimes. That's why I probably will never play it. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't mean to. I'm not crapping on it. I'm sure it's a great
Yeah.
game. I I just don't. I don't know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just came up with another one. Gaming gripe. What the heck was it? We were talking something and I came to mind. I can't think of it.
I have 4 more. I just
You have
realized
4
that.
more.
They're
You're
gonna be quick.
speed through it, man.
I'll speed through it real quick. You care if I go to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is like this. We briefly talked about this, and we'll get more. I'll get more into this in a couple
Yeah.
spots here, but this ties more
Hmm.
into game or sports games. But AI teammates
AI
bug the crap.
teammates.
They bug the crap out of me because they're programmed a certain way, and sometimes if I need to alter my play style, they don't alter their play styles with me. Um,
Yeah, is that really that bad?
it can be.
Yeah.
Um, and
Is that
also
just with certain publishers or is that
it's mostly an EA thing.
okay?
EA's like, uh, it's not that bad. I still primarily play Madden and college football by myself against a computer. So maybe I'm just used to how they operate. And it's not the worst thing. Like there are worse things in these EA games that I could be complaining about, but um sometimes they like running into your own teammates and like you're trying to run like oh my god, okay, hold on. There's and for the sports fans, they'll understand this. Um there's a specific kind of pass called a screen pass where you snap the ball and then your offensive line, which is supposed to protect you, it's a risky play. They all move to one side of the field with your running back, so that you can just kind of just lob it over to your running back, and then they immediately have protection, and then they could just run real quick for a couple yards, or they can break off for a huge gain, right?
Hmm.
Um, as the games get newer, it becomes much harder to do this because your running back goes to take off and he's
Yep.
immediately running straight into an O lineman every time. So then I'm running for my life because now I don't have any protection. As this guy's stuck, he's stuck on a player, on one of your own teammates. I don't remember this being an issue in like the late 20 or the early 2010s games. So I don't know. It's a
Right.
programming thing. I don't know. Um, you want me to go on my next one?
Yeah, I still can't think of the one I was gonna say.
I'll keep going until you think of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Next one. This is something that will never, ever be fixed because this solely relies on internet and that's just lag.
Mm,
My internet's fine now, but growing up, when I initially got like Black Ops 2, like when I got Xbox Live and I started playing Black Ops 2
yeah.
online and Halo 3 and a couple other shooters, Battlefield,
Mm,
whatnot, my internet connection wasn't the greatest and it completely ruined game experiences. So when you have something that game breaking, the game companies have no control over it. I don't think this is like necessarily a gaming gripe. It's just like an experience. Like it's an experience gripe, I guess, if that makes any sense. Um.
here's a gaming gripe. Not the one I was thinking of, but when people
Okay.
drop out mid-session.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then like you're left with something like Call of Duty. They don't really adapt to this. If somebody drops out, you're just outnumbered.
Yeah. Nope. That
Yes.
yeah.
So if it's 5v5 and you say, oh, like you say you have two people who are, they join together. They're playing, the two friends playing whatever. They're like, oh, we're not really feeling this session. We're gonna leave. They
Hmm.
leave. It's now 3-on-5. The game doesn't adjust. It doesn't throw. I mentioned AI teammates can be annoying. It doesn't even give you AI teammates. Pardon my French. You're just fucked. So the game's like, all right, good luck. You're gonna lose now. Sorry. The only game mode that I am okay with, you know, basically being put in like handicapped like situations, like being outnumbered, are stuff like search and destroy, where it's one life per round. That's fine because
Mhm.
that's the whole point of the game mode. But when people leave and you're left with scraps and you're completely outnumbered, you just get destroyed. That's annoying. So I get it.
There you
Um,
go. That's all I had.
so my last two ones are nah, the last one's mostly sports related, but this one ties in. Microtransactions.
Uh,
They're everywhere.
are they
You can't
are
escape
they
them
still
now.
that bad? I don't know if they're that bad. Really?
Sports games
Even
are
like,
probably the worst.
oh, okay. I thought they were just
Um,
really more apparent in like free to play.
the free to play ones that they're there. And I get that because you don't have to pay for the base game and you can still play without
What is it with
um
Madden, or are they just like season passes?
Ultimate Team. There's a thing called Ultimate Team where
Uh,
you know how I've mentioned before where you can start a thing called franchise or like a
yeah,
dynasty or
yeah,
whatever and you create your own
yeah,
team. That's completely separate. There's no money spent on that. You get the base game, you get that mode. Ultimate
yeah,
Team. Now I used to do this and it's toxic. So now I speak
yeah.
against it. It's 110% pay to win. Because if you're the
Uh,
you can earn in-game currency, but the amount of time that it takes to earn in-game currency to get like one card is
mhm.
it's not worth it. So it's fantasy football. You have a whole mishmash team of players, all like they're all cards. So and that your whole roster is made of cards, and then you use those cards and you use them in real football games. And they're all based off of players from now, the past, whatever. And they have different overalls. You could have like a legends like version of somebody like I'll say like Tom Brady, right? You have a legends version of Patriots quarterback Tom Brady, like who like they're gonna say, oh, this is 2007 Tom Brady when he had his undefeated season. He's a 99 overall. But the only way to get him is you either grind 30 hours of the game or you can drop $10 right now and get him. You see what I mean? That's all.
Yeah,
That's Ultimate Team.
yeah. That
That's where
sounds
the
like a straight up free to play mobile game.
that's and they used to have that. I don't know if they do anymore, but there was a thing called Madden Mobile where it was free to play, but you could spend real money to get cards in the game on
Yeah.
on your phone and just play it. It was basically that, but on console. Um,
I
and
you know what's weird to me, and I
what?
don't maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't understand Pokemon trading card game on mobile. Is
You
that
know,
just me? Is that-
here's what I think about that. Do you actually use the cards? Can you actually use the cards?
I don't know. I don't
I
get
don't
it.
know, because I've seen this floating around too. Like, is it just somebody answer this for us? Because I'm confused. I've seen it pop up, and I'm like, okay, cool. It's like a digital. You're collecting digital cards. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But do you use them, or are they, pi- or are they just pixels? Do you just look
That's
at
what
them?
I
What do
just
you
well,
what do you
because
spend?
like
What do you spend $5 on a pack and you can just look at them? You can't use them. At least
I
in the
just
sports
I
games, you can use them.
like I think I don't I it was up for game of the year. Did it win game of the year? No, Boucher won, but it was
Balatro
up
won
there for
Game of the
game of the
Year.
year. It was nominated.
It was for what mobile game?
Yes,
Can you play?
but I don't.
Hold on.
Yeah,
We're gonna answer this.
I don't
So
know
it's
why it came
Pokemon
to my
Trading
head.
Card Game Pocket. That's what it's called.
Yes, yes.
Hold on. I'm not going to the
I
actual
looked.
website. That's gonna take too long. We're gonna find Wikipedia.
I went to the website.
Oh, okay.
Okay, experience the fun of collecting Pokemon cards with Pokemon trading card blah 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 blah. In this game you'll be able to open 2 booster packs every day at no cost. You can collect digital cards featuring nostalgic artwork from the past, as well as brand new cards that are exclusive to Pokemon Trading Game Pocket. That's it. It's just cards.
But can you use them?
No. There's no like game mode to like play with your friends or something. It's just to unlock cards. It's just to get digital cards.
Hold on. We're gonna look up. I'm just gonna see how to play Pokemon TCG Pocket.
There's a forum page.
All right, that's an hour-long YouTube video. I'm not watching that.
For what? Opening cards?
Apparently. I don't get it. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you use the. I don't think you use them.
You just collect them. No, there's a trading feature.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, so wait, hold on. This is saying, what is the best way to start playing the Pokemon TCG Pocket? To start playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, the best approach is to begin with a starter pack, ideally the Charizard option, as it provides a strong, balanced deck with a popular Pokemon, allowing you to learn the basics while having a competitive edge. Focus on opening booster packs regularly to expand your card collection, experiment with different deck
Oh,
building
no,
strategies as you
wait. It
progress.
does say you can. Hold on. It serves as a mobile adaptation of the traditional trade carding game, allowing players to collect cards, build decks, and engage in battles against each other and or other players. Sorry, we were making fun of the game to those who
Hold on,
actually like it.
I need to see this to believe it. I'm looking up gameplay right now. I need to actually hold on. I'm not done making
Bro,
fun of it until I
can we
physically
hold on?
see.
But can I tell you this? Can I tell you this? It
Yeah,
says that the wiki it has generated approximately $3 million per day in revenue since its release.
that's actually insane. That's actually there.
Japan accounted for 45% of total earnings after 4 days of release, while the United States followed as the second biggest market. Total
Dude.
revenues reached 120.8 million less than a month after launch.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm watching it now. Yes, you can actually use the cards. All right, whatever. That's fine. Do you? I won't play it. I love Pokemon too. I've spoken that Pokemon's probably my favorite RPG franchise ever. I'm not playing it. I'll stick to the actual games.
A bunch of people.
I don't care. I don't care. I'll
I don't
bully
even know.
Pokemon TCG users. I'll bully Destiny players. I don't care.
I just like
I'm
how I
behind a
came out of
screen.
left
I'll
field
say
with
whatever I
that.
want.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa,
whoa!
whoa, whoa! This is where we get canceled. This is where I get canceled.
Did you have one more?
I do. Um, and we mentioned this four topics ago. It was
Mm-hmm.
you were right on the money. Sports games
Yeah,
being the same every year.
I knew it.
Now I'm excluding WWE from this because they innovate it. They innovate their games.
Mm-hmm.
They change them. The gameplays, the actual gameplay at its core has been they do improve it. It's improved. It's slightly improved every year, but it's basically the same engine since 20. I want to say so they just came out 2K25. So I want to say it's probably been the same, or at least very similar since 2K22, but they upped it a lot in 2K24. So the actual gameplay itself is pretty similar, but
Mm-hmm.
every year the rosters change, which I mean that's every sports game, but the rosters change. They're continuously adding new game modes that are a part of the base game. You don't have to buy them separately. They're not in
Mm-hmm.
like they're not in DLC packs. The only things that are in DLC packs, which and these are not pay to win, because the amount of range of overalls, like how highly overall like rated, that makes any sense, are like certain wrestlers. It's all just like should they be a part of the base game at launch? I would argue yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I this is the only DLC that I'm really like I guess okay with. And like there's like Legends packs, there's like and they come with like 5 wrestlers each. And they come out with like 5 or 6 of them. And if you get the season pass, you get all of them. It's it's not that bad, but they're continuously adding in game modes and like match types and new championships and new weapons you can use and new arenas all for free. The only thing you have to pay for are like the wrestlers that are added in, like and not added in. That you have your base roster, and that's already like almost like 100 wrestlers right there. These are just like the extra ones that like are either wrestlers that are new and like just didn't make the cut in time for the game's release. And so like, oh, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna put them into this DLC pack, and they're like $10 for 5 or 6 wrestlers, and they'll release about 5 packs a year for the game. Um, and it doesn't improve nor like make the game worse. They're just there. If you want them, they're there. You can buy them, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not like a pay to win thing because, like I said, there's wrestlers in the game that are probably better than those. Um, it's just it. If you want those specific wrestlers, then you can just drop a little extra money on it. But the base game is always typically getting better, and it's been getting better since, like I said, 22. So for the last like 3-4 years, they've been improving. But that does not include Madden, FIFA,
Yes.
F1. I think changes a bit. Um, but typically, if you see EA Sports run, um, I will give them the benefit of the doubt with college football because they had to make something slightly different than Madden.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They could have literally just took Madden gameplay. Also, if you see me wave this across the screen every now and then, this is my microphone that's supposed to be attached to my headset. I've just been kind of like just messing with it. It's not broken. I think we've talked about this before. It's not broken. I just unplug it so I can use this as my microphone. I
That's
don't want to.
that's hilarious though.
Yeah, I'm just playing around with it.
You do you.
Um, Madden and FIFA are the worst. College, like I was saying, college football, they could have literally just taken Madden and reskinned it, kept the same gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
everything, and called it college football. I was so worried about that, but it's not. It's pretty different. I think it's a better game than Madden. We'll see how they do with the next iteration of it. There's a couple leaks coming out now. Like the cover got leaked. I don't know about certain gameplay features yet, but I think I'm hoping college football is the only direction that can go is up. But Madden and FIFA, it almost seems like they get worse every year, which I don't know how that happens. I genuinely don't know for a multi-billion-dollar company. I think it's got to be only because they make so much money off of they're like the Ultimate Team I was talking about. That's where all the revenue comes from. Like you have your base
No.
sale. I'm offering nothing. EA couldn't give a crap about me because I don't spend a single dime on those games after I buy them. I spend the 60, $70, whatever it is now, on the base game.
Mhm.
That's all they're getting at me. I'm not paying anymore, but it's everybody who pays, like, as long as they're making money off the Ultimate Team, they're going to keep making the same BS game every year.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, I don't want to say I'm glad to hear because people still work hard on these games, but it's good to hear that people were very upset with the most recent, it's not FIFA anymore, it's like EAFC, like EA Football Club,
Yes.
whatever.
All I know
People
is
were,
about with FIFA, it was the same game on Switch every year since day
oh,
one.
yeah. And this was the worst case of it. People played it, I think, 2 or 3 weeks into the launch, and now it's so hard to find a match, like
Hmm.
online. People dropped
Yep.
off because they're sick of it. They bought it like, oh, maybe new title, like the FIFA title's gone, EAFC now, maybe it'll be a fresh start. It's the same game. They literally just slapped a new title on it and called it a day. And it's going to be the same thing with Madden. And people will keep buying it because it's updated. Oh, you get your new players, whatever. As long as they're making money, they're going to keep pushing out the same game. Um, and playing the older Maddens and the older, like, I played a little bit of Madden 2003, I think, on Sunday when I got back
Hmm.
home.
Hmm.
Um, it's just like, it feels like they actually put heart into making it. I don't want to say like it's a dated game, 100%. It's dated.
Hmm.
It doesn't look as good as the newer Maddens, whatever. It's a 20-year gap, right?
Yeah.
But if the replayability of that is, I would say, much higher than this one, like the newer Madden, especially with
Hmm.
something like um you look at ESPN NFL 2K5. It was the last football game that was directly competing with Madden pretty much almost ever made. And that was made by Sega. And Sega killed it. And on launch, I learned this too. On launch, they made it cheaper than Madden to help compete with it. And you go and play that now, the tackle animations are better. It's a lot more fluid. The little extra things they threw in to make it more immersive, like there's a
Yeah.
whole pregame, halftime, and postgame analysis with I don't say a fake like announcer, but like a guy who's in real life and they put him in the game and to do a full in-depth analysis showing individual plays and everything. Once the games like begin and end, like once the game begins in Madden, you're just into the game. And once the game ends, that's it. Like there's nothing else. Like it shows up celebrating for like 20 seconds and that's it. Um they, they, they they're just copy and paste now. They don't try really anymore.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame. Um,
Hmm.
and I think I'm hoping they see the success that college football had and seeing how it was different, and people were made that clear that hey, we like this because it's not just Madden. It's you
Right.
like there's no way they had this. I've said this since it launched. There's no way they had the same team working on this. There's free updates adding in new stuff pretty regularly.
Hmm.
Um, the gameplay is much more fluid. If it's a bit more immersive than Madden now, it feels more lively. They added like they changed
Hmm.
up how the crowds operate and everything. I'm just hoping they keep this up and they don't just copy and paste it again. Because then, like, if you copy and paste it, it's the same game as the previous year. Is it going to be a good game? I guess, but it it's just going to be the same game. That's which like if you keep doing that, then we're going to catch on, and then you're just going to be earning more money off the Ultimate Team stuff because college football did the same thing, and then they're just going to try less and less and less, and the quality is going to start going down. And I don't want college football to slip into that. but it probably will. It's EA. EA doesn't care. They're just, like I said, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're making money. I'm just glad WWE has not fallen into that. They've actually broke out of that. There was a brief time where it seemed like in their early 2K titles, I want to say 2K14 was the last great one of the early, like when they started doing 2K. Like I think it was WWE, like they broke out of the SmackDown versus Raw titles, and they started doing it was like WWE 12, WWE 13, and then 2K bought it, and then they started doing 2K14. 14 was probably the last great one of that early era, and then like 2K15 wasn't great. 16, that's one of those like you got to wear your rose-colored, like your rose-tinted glasses to enjoy it. Because I remember really enjoying it in high school, and then I went back and played it a couple years ago, and it's so slow. Like it's really not it's not as good as his newer ones. And then I think finally they picked up with 2K19, and then COVID hit, ruined 2K20. They took a year off, and then 2K22 came out, and they're like, okay, we have a serviceable game now. And then they just gotten better since then. Thank God. Thank God. I'd say they're worth the price tag now.
What a beautiful story.
Oh, I get passionate about sports games because like they're so easily accessible. Like anybody can, like it'll take some learning, but anybody can hop on and learn it and play it. And I feel like they're great group games. Like you can get a couple friends on to play them, and the fact that they're like first games that are so like you can almost say they're great party games in a way. Like you can get up to 4 people couch co-op playing them, and they're just not putting the same effort into them as they used to, and it hurts. Honestly, it's such a shame. But what are you gonna do? Rip.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? See there. We might be the only 2 people in our chat right now, or on our stream right now.
You're good job. That's good math.
Oh man!
But we got 1 subscriber, so I'm thankful whoever that was.
We'll have to check and see who that was.
I don't think we can. I think it's all random, or maybe I don't know.
It
says in the
let's say afterwards we can check and see. We can just check the individual subscriber count.
With that's gonna do it for the stream.
That's gonna do it. I feel like every once
Jim,
once
Connor, Gerard for coming in.
Yes.
Brian.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like every once in a while, I haven't had one in a bit, but when I get going on a rant, I go for a while.
Of course, I'm sure you'll have more of those when Jared comes back.
Probably. I haven't had one in a bit, so it was kind of nice to kind of just rant a bit.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. We're passionate about. That's why we made a podcast about this crap.
With that,
oh man.
If you're watching this at a later date, hope you liked what you watched. If you did, make sure to like the button, subscribe, and kiss Brian on the cheek.
Right there. Right there.
I'm waiting.
You're waiting.
All right, thanks for doing that. All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode. Oh, and good news, Jared has bought the router thing that he needs for next week. So hopefully it's here in time.
So it seems like we're not going to make any promises, but it seems like he'll be back next week. So
yes,
fingers crossed.
If you really missed him, give this video a like and kiss Brian on the cheek.
And kiss me right there. Just do it right there.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.